Hi, it's Jackie Saavedra, and this is my fourth day here in Artesia, and it's probably been the worst day. It started off really great, and I think before I came on this trip, I thought ICE agents weren't totally horrible. We've met some pretty good ICE agents, but today I just feel like they're doing everything they can to make our lives difficult. It's been twice now they've come into the room we've been working in, and they've completely shifted things around with no notice. Today, they took all of our clients out of the room unexpectedly without any notice at all, and they told us that we could only have a certain number of clients in the room because they were concerned about children being on the ground and being away from their mothers, but that was never an issue before today, and it actually made it more of an issue. There were 3 clients that showed up the first time, and somehow they weren't able to locate them when we needed them, so we just weren't able to talk to them, and they missed out on an opportunity to talk to an attorney. We're not sure when we're going to be able to see them again, and they didn't listen to our complaints about this process, and they told us that we could get used to it and that we had to work harder in order to make it work. And yeah, that's my reflection for the day.
I am here in Artesia. It's day 13 of the AILA organization being here, the AILA Pro Bono Project, and it is day 4, finishing day 4, a long day. As usual here, we got to the detention center today we got here actually early, around 6:30, and we left about 7:30 today, so long day. Today we had an incident that everybody is referring to Notary Gate. We needed a notary to sign an affidavit, and nobody's a notary in the detention center. We're not allowed to leave. We can't use our phones there. So on lunch break, I went and I called a local Catholic church in town, and I got the phone number of a woman in town who also happens to have her daughter, who is a special needs child, who works on the Federal Law Enforcement Center in the detention base at the cafeteria. So she has an ID that shows that she's allowed to be on there. So she met me at the guard shack thinking that we could just notarize in the guard shack or quickly notarize something. And the minute she pulled, I asked if we could bring her back because she's a notary and the attorneys need her, and she could come back quickly and notarize. The guards threw a fit and yelled out, "No, no, you need to talk to ICE." We walked out and we sat in the waiting room trying to strategize how we get permission from ICE. During that time, the federal security of the center ran out and said that the nice lady from church was trying to use her base ID to sneak onto the premises without permission. And they ran out and yelled at the ICE officers who were about to pick us up in her van. The lady from the church was not getting in the van. She was going to her car and going home, and they might revoke her status to get on the base to pick up her 38-year-old special needs child. We spoke with the supervisor on the detention center, and they were great, super nice. We explained the situation. However, the actual employees and the level of fear and terror and anger that they have that these detainees are here is absolutely ridiculous. Artesia is one of the only family detention centers where they're keeping women and children here, and it's like we're at Leavenworth, to be honest. I'm sure you've already seen a lot of our other videos, but today we called it Notary Gate. They wouldn't pick us up for about an hour and 15 minutes after this incident. We don't know if it was for punishment or whether they were just busy and couldn't pick us up. It was a strange coincidence, but again, any attorneys that are watching this and can come down and volunteer their time here to represent them, it's in dire need down here. Hope anybody that has any extra time can make it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Angela Ferguson, and this was my 4th day here in Artesia. This day started, we planned on having a good day today because yesterday was so hard. We got there extra early this morning. We wanted to make sure that all of the credible fear interviews and hearings were on our radar, that we were lined up for them, that they didn't surprise us today. But that just quite didn't happen. I went to the supervisor of the asylum office today, and actually, one of the attorneys didn't know what time her hearing was supposed to be, and so she asked me just to go check. And they have to go through channels, so I had to walk over there to go check. And they told me there was no interview today. Well, a couple hours later, they came to get her for the interview, and they just either lied to us or made a mistake. But here was an attorney who had spent hours preparing her client, hours worrying about this indigenous Guatemalan woman, and when she realized that she had missed the hearing because she was in another hearing at the same time, one that went on for 4 hours, she just broke into tears and realized that she thought maybe she shouldn't be doing this kind of work because but it wasn't her fault. It was just the scheduling, the lack of communication between the asylum office, the ICE officers, and the wall that's between them and the immigration attorneys just makes everything twice as difficult as it needs to be. 10 times as difficult. I did get to tour a couple of the dormitories today where the women and children stay. 4 families to a room. All of them have children. They're in bunk beds, and it's not the safest place to be. They make the children sleep on the top bunks. They have semi-railings on the bunks. The mothers sleep on the bottom. I guess so the children can't wander out. They put them up there. I've at least had one incident that's been reported to us where a child fell from the bunk and broke his leg. It's hard to watch, and it's hard to watch our government and these government employees make this process so difficult. So difficult. And we just need to be here to witness and to express what's going on here in Artesia. The plea is for help to come down and just fill a gap for a week or 3 or 4 days, whatever you're able to do. We need paralegals, we need lawyers, and we need support to keep the folks down here who can. The folks who can stay needs the financial support, so please help the team on the ground here. Thank you.
We got to the detention center at about 7 a.m. and we left at 7 p.m., so it was a 12-hour day. We saw a lot of people, but it was a very frustrating day with a lot of obstacles. I continue to be so very frustrated with this process. Asylum and this process is difficult enough, and the thing that is causing me such fantastic anguish, aside from these horrible stories and seeing these women and their children suffering in this horrible place, is the fact that they are being denied basic due process. And that breaks my heart. Not all of them are going to get to stay, not all of them are going to have claims, but they should all be given a chance, and they should all be given the opportunities under the law to present their case, and to present their case in a way that matters. They're being still denied access to legal representation, in that they're being thrown up obstacles at every step of the way. They're getting legal representation because since Ayla has been here, I think the statistics that we heard today were that they were denying 120 credible fear interviews a week, and it's down to 34 a week. So that's fantastic. But they're still denying cases that shouldn't be denied. I had one today that was a hearing. It was a domestic violence case. It's something that is clearly something that should be granted, and it wasn't. And so now we're going to have to continue fighting, and is very difficult to explain to the client. The other thing that I find very difficult is the conditions in the center themselves. It is devastating to have to sit and tell my client that I'm talking to, you need to tell me the details about how you were repeatedly raped by your spouse or beaten by your spouse or had to watch your children get beaten, when there's someone sitting less than a foot away trying to tell their horrible story to someone sitting right there, or their children are sitting right next to them. It's very difficult. You can't imagine how horribly soul-crushing this place is. Ayla's trying to staff people to be down here for the entire process so we can continue to have people to see these women through the entirety of their case. If you can spare any time, please consider coming down here, even if it's just for a couple days. Even a couple days helps out tremendously. That's all I have for today. Hopefully tomorrow will be better, although somehow I doubt it. Thanks.